So today's topic has to do with creating your own wedding vows. And this is an important topic, and believe it or not, it's much deeper than you may think. Now, I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and my hope is that you're not going to have to use our services for marriage repair. It wouldn't be a bad idea to go to our sister organization, which is premaritalacademy.org. Usually when someone sits down to do their vows, they have in their mind that what they're doing is they're preparing a contract where they're saying, here's what I'm going to do for you, honey, and here's what you're saying you're going to do for me. And it's ironic because it doesn't even really touch on the real stuff that happens in marriage. So let's kind of take it from the top and let's ask a very important question that you may or may not have thought about before. That question is, why do you, as an individual, not because you found your soulmate, but why do you as an individual get married? Because we don't learn the answer to that question almost ever. And it's not really the fault of those who are quasi-responsible for teaching us because they don't really know the answer. It's kind of muddled up. We hear about the term soulmates. We hear about and we feel love. And then we hear about taking the next step to get married. Well, it's quite a leap, actually, to go from dating, even courting, to being married. Because marriage is lifetime. You're talking about the rest of your lives. So let's talk about expectations. Let's start there. Because you should have these expectations as your mutual goals. This should be the foundation for your marriage. And the mutual goals of your marriage should be the foundation of your marriage. And it should then identify a process that you go through while you're married. So skipping all the other stuff, you get married basically for two solid top line reasons. One is you want to be happier for the rest of your life. And you don't want to just be happier on your wedding day. I don't know who came up with this idea that the wedding day should be the bride's, meaning the woman's, happiest day of her life. What, and it's all downhill from there? I hope not. You should want to be happier every single day than the day before. Have you thought about that? Because if you have, you need to think about how do you make that happen? This is not a ride at Disneyland. You're not just getting on the Matterhorn ride and you go on it and you get off it. You don't do anything. You just sit there. In marriage, you got to do a lot more than just sit there. In fact, we are active beings. We will be doing things. Shouldn't they be pre-designed? Shouldn't your vows be totally tied to that? So maybe one of your vows could be something like that, something that ties to that. For instance, you both want to be happy for the rest of your life. And if you're sitting together watching this, and I know people are busy, they never watch these together, you both be going, yeah. Well, then maybe one of your vows, what you're expressing to your soulmate is, I'm going to do my very best to make you happy every single day. Further, I'm not going to do anything that's going to undermine that happiness. So, vows don't all have to be positive. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I promise to love you forever. Boy, is that a pie crust promise, if I ever heard one. I promise to love you forever. You literally can make that promise, but then why do people fall out of love? Goes back to another topic we're going to talk about that's a very important topic, but let's stick with this. So I promise to make you happier every single day. When you're saying that to your spouse, you are defining a love that's unconditional. You're putting your future spouse ahead of yourself, because sometimes what will make them happy isn't going to make you happy at the moment or later. Sometimes you're just doing it because you want them to be happy, and that's not quote unquote normal, because we are driven by our drive to survive. The self-preservation component that's in our bodies affect our mind. And our mind is going, what's in it for me? Because the body's going, hey, I got to survive. Me first. And then everyone else next. So in marriage, you go into what I call the sacred space of marriage, where there's just two of you. And those two of you can be soulmates, or you can become cellmates. You want to be cellmates? I don't think so. You want to be soulmates? What is a soul? You might say, I have a soul, and you don't know what it means. And it's not even speaking correctly, because the truth is you are a soul. What you do have is you have a body and a mind. So, I vow to you, I, coming from the place of my soul, coming from a place of unconditional love. And that's the second thing that you want in your marriage, unconditional love. And again, if you don't do anything to make that happen, it won't. Things don't just happen by themselves. We know that in our world, yet there's an expectation that in marriage everything's going to just fall into place. It doesn't. So, another potential vow is, I promise to put you ahead of myself, i.e., as an expression of my unconditional love for you. I promise never to put myself ahead of you. I promise to always put your needs, your desire for happiness, your desire to experience only love coming from me. That's my vow. What else? Well, what about when you're mad? You know, Western psychology says never stuff it. And I say Western psychology is full of beans. Your soulmate is not your garbage dump. The negativity that is in your mind from time to time, first of all, it shouldn't be there. You have full control over your mind because you have free will. So you should be dealing with that stuff in your head, learning to control your thoughts, learning to control your feelings, and promising to never dump your stuff on your spouse. Literally, we are taught by Western psychology, which has no idea about marriage at all. Please do not go to a Western psychologist for premarital education. They say you should talk about your feelings. Say how you're feeling. Well, let's think about that. Put yourself in the position of the listener. What does it do for you when someone is basically complaining? Your mind is going, I got my own problems, and you do. And those are yours. Those are the ones you're supposed to work on. Well, what should you be talking about? You should be talking about how much you love your spouse. That's the vow. You should be talking about how much you want them to be happy. That's the vow. Should you be dumping your garbage on them? No, you should not. Ever. Ever. You should never argue with your spouse. Another vow. I promise to never start an argument with you. And if you start one with me, I promise to deflect, change the subject, agree with you until we can calm down. I'll be there for you, but I promise to never argue with you. I promise to never criticize you. I promise to never condemn you. I love you. I promise to do everything and say everything and be everything that demonstrates my love for you. That's what vows are all about. I truly urge you to go over to the premaritalacademy.org and learn about marriage, because you're just starting out. And there's an expectation that is unspoken for happiness and love, but you need to learn how. So that's it. You should be and could be learning a lot about marriage by watching these videos. So subscribe. Why not? Why wouldn't you? There's so much to learn. And some of those topics will be really pertinent to you. And you could like this video. You could share this video. It's a good video, you have to admit. You could leave a comment. And I'm sure there's nothing here you would disagree with. Well, maybe something you would disagree with because you heard something. And if you want to, discuss it with me in the comments section so I could explain it to you more fully if you don't understand it. That's why we're here at the Marriage Foundation. Our approach to marriage is 100% positive. We know, we don't hope, because we've helped many thousands of people achieve the ultimate marriage. We know that your marriage is supposed to be like cloud nine, like the most amazing marriage ever. It's supposed to be the happiest place in your life, and we can show you how to do that. So that's it. God bless, congratulations, and take care. Thank you.